Namaste, beloveds. This is Mother with Wisdom, aka Valerie AMES, and this is a very special um, videotaping. And I want to give a special shout out to somebody who means the world to me, my mama Dot, Dorothy Lewis. She's in the hospital right now, and she's grieving. She's grieving her mother. She lost her mother a little bit ago. And grieving is a process. And when you have held so much pain in your life, there comes a time when a certain part of you says that's enough. That's enough pain. That's enough. And I've been there. And I just want to say, Mama, you're a strong black woman. Grieve. Wail, get mad, cry, do it all. Do it all. Ain't nothing on this earth like a mama. Nothing. And when you've had the kind of relationship that you've had where you were in constant contact with your mama, and it's holiday times, it's painful. Many don't realize that, but there are many others that do, Mama. They know when they're going through the same thing you're going through, and they can sympathize with you and empathize with you and have compassion for you just like I do. I just want you to know I love you. Feel better. Okay. And I'm wearing this wig because it's Mama Dot's favorite wig. She liked this red wig. And we got the same robes. So, Mama, I love you. I love you so much. Feel better. And this one is for you. It's dedicated to you. All right, beloveds. And I'm just going to read what I wrote. And then I'm going to read a couple of cards. And that's going to be it. And I know it's been a while since I've done some videos. And I'm going to get more back into it. It's just I've been processing a lot of things and a lot of energy. There's a lot of energy in the world right now. And when you're sensitive, you have to adjust certain things in order not to be so impacted by it. And so it is what it is, beloveds. And you just make it do what it do. Here we go. This is called the divine currency. The divine currency, aka focused attention. Beloveds, I woke up with this on my mind this morning, and this was a couple of days ago, and I'm just getting to it now. But everything happens when it's supposed to. So here we go. Beloveds, I woke up with this on my mind this morning. Lately, I have been paying attention to human politics, especially 45 and his impeachment investigations. Time to tell the truth and shame the devil, they say, them dry bones. Pay attention to that saying. Break it down. When you tell the truth, you shame the devil, meaning there is a frequency exchange when the devil or your ego or whatever you want to call that, comes to you, he wants you to focus on a divine lie. That ego, that devil, that negative mind frame wants you to focus on lie, a divine lie. And that divine lie is the original lie. That you are not like God. That you are not God. Same old lie. But when you are able to rebut him with a divine truth, you flip the script on him. And let me just say that a little bit more about that, beloveds. You know how telemarketers and salespeople go into their training with how to sell you something, how to market something, how to appeal to you. Okay? They do that. And when you come back and say, well, I don't have any money right now, or I can't afford that right now, or I don't need that right now, they are taught how to rebuttal you, how to come back and how to answer whatever you say so that they can sell you whatever they're going to sell you. Okay? That's called rebuttal. And that is what the devil does. That is what the ego mind does. When you come with the truth or said, nah, I can't agree with that lie, right? I can't agree with that lie. It's going to try to convince you of that lie. It's going to come with all these reasons why, when, where. And that's called a rebuttal. And in order to stop that rebuttal, you have to come up with the truth. That's flipping the script on them. Because, see, it ain't no rebuttal for the truth. I ain't got no money. I'm broke. Well, we have a plan for that. You can pay like $5. I'm broke. What part of I'm broke don't you understand? I ain't got nothing on that. I ain't with that no kind of way. I can't purchase that. I can't buy that. That ain't for me. And that's flipping the script on them. Because there's nothing that they can say. It's nothing that devil can say. It's nothing that friend can say. It's nothing that whatever can say to get you to buy into their lie. Because you have the truth. Your truth. Not a version of it, but your truth. Because you are not paying emphasis, paying attention, they say, them dry bones. You are not paying, giving, exchanging your attention because you are fixed, deeply rooted, paying, giving, exchanging in a much higher coin of the realm. Divine consciousness, which puts 2 cents to shame. And he goes away shamed by the truth of comparisons. So when you use the truth, that is the true currency. That is the true coin. That is the God-given frequency and currency and exchange rate. And ain't nothing they got can match that frequency. What they got is they 2 cents. And that 2 cents don't equal divine value of the truth. So stand in it and understand who you are, and let that always be your foundation. No matter what you're confronted with, step back to it with the truth. No matter how painful, no matter how shameful, the truth will set you free. If not in this moment, then the next. Trust and believe. Them dry bones, they say, make it plain. What is the truth of an unwanted pregnancy? If your mind is focused on sex and you engage in sexual exchange during a fertile time, the laws of multiplication, the laws of attraction, the universal laws of blah, 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 is invited to take place. That is the price you pay for your attention to sex. This is a divine truth. A child is not an unwanted mistake of your focusing and giving and exchanging frequency and currency of your divine essence, life-giving fluids. You are a God, you are a creator, you manifest what you give attention to. A child is not a byproduct that, oops, I didn't mean for that to happen. That's unwanted. No, baby. Your heart's desire was sex. You did not take the precautions necessary to not bring another life into this world, to not incarnate. You are a divine being. You are a creator. You are exchanging divine currency and divine frequency in them liquids, them body fluids. Each and every time you share and you intermingle. And for you to say an unwanted pregnancy happened. No. Tell the truth. Shame the devil. The truth is, you are a creator. You are capable of multiplying. You are capable of helping to co-create life. Every time you focus and desire sexual intimacy and contact, that can produce a child. There are no mistakes. God doesn't make mistakes. There are no oops with God. Your problem is you don't identify yourself as God. You don't look at life, existence, in a serious enough manner to understand your part in it. You have to take responsibility for being a God, for being a child of God, for being able to manifest, for being able to incarnate life, for being a caretaker of life. We do not focus our attention, our energies, our essence on divine things that we understand, on divine intellect, on divine wisdom, on divine ways. We have gotten so twisted up in the vehicle, in the flesh, in the desires of the flesh, in the inadequacy of the egoic construct of what life is and who you are. You are more than flesh, beloveds. You are spirit and you are soul. And you need to begin to speak that truth to yourself enough so that you hear it and you begin to process it. And it is a process. And for many, it is a grieving process because you are grieving that ego part of you that lived your life, that controlled your thoughts for so long. So you're grieving that part of you that has to die, that is dead, and that you have been maintaining in zombie-like posturing, imitating life in such a limited way, instead of the vast existence that is available to us. This system is falling away. I started this with 45 and the politics and everything else. This is an old life. 45's mantra was make America great again. In other words, give it another life. Breathe life into it again. Resurrect it, resuscitate it. Bring it back to where it used to be. But we all know what he's talking about. And that we're not trying to go backwards, beloveds. We're really not. We're trying to evolve. We're trying to be present in the moment so that we can pay that moment forward. We're trying to tap in to the regeneration and the healing parts of us. Let me keep going. That is the divine intelligence of the universal language of mathematics, symbolized by rabbits, mice, and men. And that is the multiplication. That is being able to reproduce. That is divine intelligence. That is a divine language. That is divine mathematics. That is universal. That is why there is so much emphasis on sex. That's why there's so much misinformation on sex. That's why sex is used to assault children, adults, and the elderly. It's used as a weapon. It is a divine part of who you are. It's a natural part of who you are. And like I said, if you can be made to feel shame, if you can be made to feel anger, if you can be made to step outside of the realm of your divine, sensual, sexual awareness of yourself, then that devil can come and tell you who you are. He can sell you any kind of thing, and you'll buy it. And you'll be happy with your purchase, and you'll be ready to purchase more. Instead of saying, I am a divine being, and all that you're trying to bring me is outside of me. My sexuality is inside me, and it's not located in a vagina or a penis. Let me keep going. Rabbits, mice, and men. Those were ancient symbols of, and there are many more, that reproduce like, rabbits, reproduce like mice, reproduce like men. And what do we call men? Dogs. And what do we call women? Bitches. Gods. If you buy into that, and you act like that, and you desire that, and you lust after that, then that is what you become. You've bought the programming, and you've conditioned yourself with it. And you look out on this world and you say, what the hell? It's because you've taken a 2 cent and made it worth more than you. Zero is the ultimate womb. It is a divine receptacle of unlimited possibilities. It is the space, place, holder of everything that is, was, and will be, resides. It is known to some as hell, the common graveyard, the womb and the tomb of all manifestations, seen and unseen, conscious, unconscious, and subconscious. Okay, excuse my tangent. I am learning how to better direct and focus my attention at an intersection of thoughts. And beloveds, let me just say this. I know I'm not the only one. I want you to understand the multiplicity of your thoughts. You don't just have one thought and that's it. You have thoughts and you have rebuttal to those thoughts, and you have other thoughts that are saying, now you know better than that. We can't go down that road. And you have other, girl, that's the road you need to go down. Don't listen to that other voice. Listen to this one. And then you have, I've been down that road before. No. And you got all of these. This is an intersection of your mind. And you are caught in the flow of traffic of your own thoughts. And you're trying to decide which way to go, which one gets to turn first, which one should you listen to, which path should you take, who gets to turn first. You have to learn to be present. You have to learn that these are your thoughts and that you are the divine thinker and that you have the ability and the voice and the power to decide what you're going to choose, when you're going to choose to move, and what is best for you based upon you, not upon your conditioned identity, but upon your truth. And when you hear all of these thoughts, bring up the truth and see how many back up or fade away or whatever. That's why some say it's hell, and some say it's the womb and the tomb. Where was I? Oh, yes, the impeachment. Impeachment. You know, my nickname was Peaches once upon a time. And I love peaches. Do you know what they say, what they symbolize spiritually, metaphysically, alchemically, and naturally? What is the significance of a peach tree? What does it symbolize in all cultures? Understand the words have greater, much deeper meaning than what we realize they do. To your divine self, what does peach mean? And to impeach, to remove, to smack down in the case of to put in place, to warn, to punish. Examine the word impeachment. Examine the number 45, which is also 9. Okay. The dry bones cough, and I bring back my attention, focus, frequency to where it needs to be concentrated on, with laser focus on details of why, when, who, what, where, how, by the truth of the facts. Pay attention to the facts, and you will reap the truth. It will be your reward, decreed by divine law and intelligence. My writing is something else, y'all. Chicken scratching their best. So there is no better outcome. Focus on naming the problem. They say them dry bones. When you are able to do this in the most simplest terms, you will also find the solution. That is the law of paradox and attraction. What you are looking for is where you are looking from, or it is also looking for you. It is hidden inside the question. The answer is in the question. The answer is in the question. Your solution is in the question. That is the law of paradox. That is also the law of attraction. So what is the breakdown? Our focus, our ability to pay attention, to see with sight beyond sight, over old ways of seeing. The main point of this video is to pay attention to your thoughts. Focus on your thoughts and where they are taking you. As they come up, don't be so attached. Don't be so quick to run with them. Don't be so quick to jump in that car and say, let's go. You drive. Where you going? Take me there. Before you get in that car, before you attach, know where that car is going, know who is in that car, know who else is going to get in that car, know what is going to happen, if, ands, buts, or maybes, 2 cents, and know that at any point in time, you can say, whoa, mule, stop, car, and get up out of it if it's not feeling right. This is you knowing yourself. This is you assuming the truth of who you are. This is you stepping into the grace of who you are and learning to focus and manifest on it, understanding that there are no oopsies, there are no mistakes, there are no unwanted mistakes. What you focus on is what you're going to manifest. And if you focus on what you don't want, you're going to get what you don't want. If you focus on having sex and not wanting a baby while you're having sex, but you didn't take any precautions, guess what's going to happen? Take individual responsibility for your own beingness. It's not the other person's responsibility. It's yours. It's your essence. It's your desire. It's your thoughts. And if you just go along with somebody, then you're letting them say that you're not God. And you don't have a voice. And you just need to follow along. All your value is 2 cents. Know yourself. Know your worth. Know what you're capable of. Focus on expanding, evolving, processing, grieving, and letting go of those parts of you that no longer serve, that desire things that are no longer good for you. And you have to sit sometimes, beloveds. You have to sit in it. Excuse my French. But you have to sit in that shit sometimes to get tired of it. To say that's enough. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. And can't nobody make you feel that's enough. They can make you feel shame for sitting there. They can tell you you're stupid for sitting there. They can say whatever they want, but until you get ready to own it, to see the truth of it, to know the truth of it, to be responsible for the truth of it, it won't change. It has to be enough on your terms. Just like this world that we're living in. There's no oops. We have bought into the lie that we are not divine beings, that we need mediators, that we need somebody to lead us, that our thoughts don't matter, that there are people that can think better than us and manage things better than us and do things better than us, and we support them. We support their thoughts. We have no voice. We have no opinion. Thus, we are not God. We are not sovereign beings. Pay attention to see with sight beyond sight. Our old way of seeing had been upgraded by divine will. Will is concentrated, conscious focus on a certain outcome to be manifested. This is shown to me this way. The prophecy of Genesis, the snakes on the pole of the caduceus. He will bite you in the heel, limiting your ability to stand upon truth. You will then crush his head, limiting his ability to withstand your focused insight into his lies. Thus, the firstborn spiritual mind will succumb to the secondborn physical mind for a time that only the Creator truly knows. And after that time has passed, the spiritual mind or spiritual consciousness will awaken out of the land of Nod, and it will not wander in chaos and confusion anymore. It will individually and collectively realize itself as the creator of its own existence. This is known as Jubilee. And beloveds, when you really understand what that first lie was, you will be like God. Your eyes will be open. You will not die. You really have to understand what that lie was and what was the focal point of that lie. What was being purchased with that lie? What was being bought from these children of God, these divine children, these divine innocent children of God? What was being bought? What was being taken? What was being exchanged? What was being offered as an exchange for what they had? For the understanding that they had of themselves, for their innocence. What was being exchanged? A lie. Why? Why? Observe and know that your thoughts are currents and frequencies. And there are beings who can identify with those thoughts and frequencies. Whether they are spoken or unspoken, they are felt. And those beings use those thoughts and feelings against you in the form of a lie to purchase your truth, and you give it away willingly because you don't value what you have, or you don't know enough about yourself to value what you have and who you are. And so you sell yourself cheaply. What I just shared is very, very powerful, very insightful, and very is manna for your soul, and is manna for your spirit. And if you need to rewind it to get it again, please do so. Please do so, because it is a key part to this video, to wake up out of the land of Nod, to wake up and stop wandering in chaos and confusion. And it's going to take you a minute to get your sea legs, so they say, or get your proper balance, or be able to walk just right in this new understanding and understanding of yourself and of the truth of yourself. So be patient with yourself. And beloveds, understand that a big part of you has identified with this identity for so long that there is a grieving process. You're going to be angry. You're going to, I believe there are six different laws of grievance. I'm not sure, but you can Google it. There are different stages of grieving, and you're going to go through those stages. It is a process. It does not happen overnight. It will not happen overnight. Look how many billions of years it has taken for us to get right here, right now. But this is the time of that we recognize enough, and we began to wake up, and we began to make changes, and we begin to rebut those salesmen with the truth, with the facts. And we are not swayed by shiny things, nor are we swayed by threats. We are aware of our divinity. We are aware of the vastness of existence. We are aware that existence cannot be killed, cannot die, cannot be controlled. That nothing has a higher will over existence. And that existence was set in motion by will. And that will have its way. Then with divine knowledge of itself, it will seek to multiply and be fruitful in a balanced way. I'm speaking about existence here. This awakening, one. Then with divine knowledge of itself, it will seek to multiply and be fruitful in a balanced way, which excludes unwanted pregnancies or children that do not know the truth of their divine existence. This is the new north with the flipping of the poles. All that is not that will now return to the womb tomb to be transmuted and transformed into divine truth, and is only then ready to be reborn. Zero is the macrocosm, which holds sacred space for its reflection, like the sun and the moon, made aware to us as the microcosm, the manifested way, they say, them dry bones, the way Zero is the way of understanding and understanding and becoming one with the macrocosm and the microcosm. And understanding that the macrocosm, which is the vastness, holds sacred space for the reflection, which is the microcosm. That microcosm fits inside that macrocosm, just like the sun and the moon. And it manifests away. Babylon is the false Israel. That is why her throne has been maintained till this shift in consciousness beyond all religions, separations and prejudices. The Gentile nation are also known as the Rainbow Warriors, the promises kept, the return of divine treasure to the kingdom and the throne. What we are bearing witness to is destruction of world governments to rule the conscious will and minds of the people, aka the elimination of the elite. Now, beloveds, I know that's kind of deep, and no matter what religion you are, I want you to understand that there is a remnant that has always been present on the earth that does its best to shepherd, lead, protect, and care for these Gentiles, these sheep, okay, these sleeping ones. And we're at a time now where these sleeping ones are now being welcomed into the remnant. They can now be part and parcel of, simply because of the divine alignments that are taking place in the heavens and on the earth, in the DNA of humans, in the waters, in the reshifting of the poles, in the natures that is taking place. There's a lot going on, beloveds. So, just like I started this with Mama Dot being in the hospital, there are a lot of family members. There are a lot of neighbors. There are a lot of our children. There are a lot of strangers, homeless ones, mentally ill ones, who are more sensitive to these changes than they know. And it's a very trying time. Open your hearts and try to be as understanding and as understanding as you possibly can, because you never know what's on somebody's mind. You don't know the thoughts that they're thinking. You don't know who they're missing, or if they're grieving and they're in an anger phase, or they just had enough and they're reacting from that place. Be as tolerant with each other as you can. Be as patient with each other as you can. Be as forgiving as you can right now, because that's very important. That forgiving part is very important. And begin with yourself. And it is a process. There are layers. There are steps to it. Be gentle with yourself. That was that portion. Now I'm going to get into cards. I pulled 3 cards, and I'm just going to go right into them. And these 3 cards, beloveds, they will support what I have shared with you. So I ask that you focus your attention to the message that each of these cards has to say to you, personally, individually, as well as collectively. The first card, which is very powerful, I pulled from the 2013 Oracle, The Ancient Keys to the 2012 Awakening by David Carson. The card that was pulled was the Scorpion card. And it's funny because we just had a Scorpion moon. The card number on here is 12, and the name for Scorpion here is Retribution. Beware. Scorpion throws curves in a major scale. The signature of 12 symbolizes cosmic winds and the laws of celestial symmetry. 12 is the lost wisdom number of mystical emanations and is the 12th fluctuation, which can break patterns within oscillations. The Western world plays the number 12 by doing the solar dozens with their calendar month. That is power packed. That is so fertile. That is juicy beyond belief right there. I'm going to read it one more time and then I'll move on. But please pay attention and understand how it is interwoven with the things I was sharing with you about 45, America, waking up, will, the buying and selling of currencies, the winds and the turnings. That's oscillations. So here we go. Beware. Just like buyer beware. Beware. And this is retribution. Beware. Scorpion throws curves in a major scale. The signature of 12. The signature of 12 symbolizes cosmic winds and the laws of celestial symmetry. And when I read that, I see spirals. Okay? 12 is the lost number of mystical emanations and is the 12th fluctuation, which can break patterns within oscillations. The Western world plays the number 12 by doing the solar dozens with their calendar month. And I understand solar 12s, but I also know that playing the dozens is talking about somebody's mama. So, let's go. And moon mamas is what I'm getting from that. Education in the ancient society was open to girls and boys of all classes. However, the training was so demanding very few became priests or priestesses. The combination of vigorous physical challenges and the intellectual capacity required of the mystical brother and sisterhoods were met by only a handful of highly disciplined individuals. Children beginning at the temple schools were faced with deprivation and even death. They slept on reed mats on stone floors. They subsisted on gruel and water. They were sent forth to gather up venomous scorpions that skittered through the night shadows. If a child was stung, he or she suffered terribly and rarely survived. Upon recovery, Whatever the outcome, the child was dismissed from the temple school. Only those children with the dexterity, temerity, and smarts to capture the scorpions night after night were initiated into the next level. Hereafter, they were given the wisdom of the cosmos as they were trained in sacred mathematics, astronomy, and ceremony. They were taught the languages of animals, the jaguar, the eagle, and the great horned owl. They were readied to hold the interface between heaven, bigger picture of the scorpion, and earth. No longer simply human, they offered their intellect and physical being to the great round of activity that kept the planet in right relation to the sun, moon, Venus, and all inhabitants of our galaxy. The temple priests and priestesses coated themselves with black body paint containing scorched scorpions. This paste had a psychotropic ingredient that opened doors to other worlds, which ceremonial leaders could enter. As the sacred calendar was set forth with a ceremony every 20 days, constant fasting, auto-sacrifice dreaming, prognostication, and calculation was required on the part of the temple technicians. One of the most rigorous cycles required the temple leader to pierce his tongue with sharp sticks that size of an index finger. The blood was caught and offered in supplication. The cycle of sacrifice, purification, and regeneration was repeated endlessly at the temple. All this activity was overseen by the black god Im, the star scorpion. His tail was the terrible black sacrificial knife constantly drilling for fire. It is said that there is a wheel of sorrow and retribution. In life, we walk the way of good and evil. The wheel turns in endless cycles of learning life's lessons. Some people trip, lose their balance, and fall into suffering and pain. They encounter brutality and ignorance. These are the hell divers that have stumbled on hatred, greed, and enmity. Watch your step. Scorpion smiles and waits for you at the end of Pebbly River, the Milky Way galaxy. The eye of the scorpion is a cruel one. In this mirror eye, we clearly see our unbalanced judgments and insatiable drive for power over others. We seek to punish those we imagine have wounded us. Retribution is a vial of spiritual poison distilled from the blossoms of hatred and fear. I'm being told to read that again, so I'm going to read that again, beloveds. In this mirror eye, we clearly see our unbalanced judgments and insatiable drive for power over others. We seek to punish those we imagine have wounded us. And right then and right there came what came just surfacing for me was how bad they want the whistleblower in the impeachment because of what they feel the whistleblower did by revealing the truth about them. And they want retribution. They want to punish the whistleblower for telling the truth about their lies, about bringing light to their darkness, about being brave enough to confront their cowardice because they are too afraid to be the gods that they need to be. They're in leadership positions, but they're serving their egos. And we are awakening to that fact. And we are realizing our voice matters. Our voice should matter to our leaders, not just our money and our taxes going to their agendas. And we just are like hamsters on the hamster wheel, having babies turning out more to turn and turn and turn their world. We seek to punish those we imagine have wounded us. And this is also where self-forgiveness comes in, because there are many times when we have struck out, struck down, cut, beheaded, wounded, stole their pieces of their souls of others. That's why we have to forgive ourselves first. It begins with us. And again, this is part of the grieving process, because you have to see the whole picture, the macrocosm, not just little bits and parts of it. Step back and see all of it. We seek to punish those we imagine have wounded us. Retribution is a vial of spiritual poison, distilled from the blossoms of hatred and fear. The flowering of this evil plant is often rooted in injustice and ego distortion. It can cause sickness and feelings of inadequacy and distress. It is a garden sown with the bitter weeds of jealousy and anger. Pregnant women once wore the tattooed image of the scorpion over their navels because of its life-bridging power. It was called to the pathway of stars to send a healthy spirit to the fetus. Scorpion is the hinge that swings open the door of life and death, offering protection from assault, offering protection or assault. Here, choices are weighed. This portal is a difficult passage to enter. Scorpion is saying, don't look outside. Misfortune, casualty, and acts of others do not exist in the nest of the scorpion. You receive according to what you do. Scorpion presents us a gift for changing our restricted point of view so that we can again harmonize with the subtle music of the spheres. Scorpion instructs us to pay attention to our activities and involvements. Beware of too much passion. Beware of vices, the consequent humiliation when you fell prey to them. Be wary of impure thoughts or intense feelings that may lead to poor judgment. You may find yourself in the land of hungry ghosts, the dimension of greed, selfishness, addiction, and insatiable lust. Scorpion teaches many lessons. Scorpion gives us an opportunity to learn from painful mistakes. The sting of the scorpion ends our complacency immediately. We scream and curse our predicament. Wisdom is born from it. Scorpion teaches us to laugh and cry in full measure. So often brings a sting to our ego and our ignorance, and in this destructive act, she creates anew. Scorpion teases with her poison scimitar. She will sting herself to death rather than surrender to any power. Call on Scorpion and always fight for your right to be. She dances a dance of no return and instructs us that we must do the same. Scorpion is the guardian of farmers and gardeners. She tells you to prepare the ground and plant your seed. Scorpion advises you not to lie and strictly honor your word. Examine contracts carefully before signing. Scorpion card can give you beneficial advice on health issues. You may have to visit the family hearth and do some politicking. Scorpion dances the cosmic dance, just as the sun. Excuse me. Scorpion dances the cosmic dance, just as the sun and stars dance. The earth is a dancing dervish, whirling in space. We human beings dance a sacred dance inside the hollowed circle of eternity. We are all artisans of the dance and the ceremony of life. Remember, you may not be responsible for the tune, but you are certainly responsible for your own choreography. Learn from Scorpion. Dance your dance with consciousness and passion. And that was that card, beloveds. Next, I pulled from the Isis Oracle deck. And the card that was pulled was Scales of Balance, Ancient Tantra of the Soul. All right. And let's see what we have here. Scales of Balance, Ancient Tantra of the Soul. You are a Tantrika, an initiate on the path of divine healing of the masculine and feminine, the two sacred polarities that are universal to human experience. As these energies come into mutual respect and balance, you attain great power, presence, and healing effect in the world of the soul and in the human world of forms here on this earth. You are supported in further exploring this path now upon the auspices and blessings of beloved Isis. And beloveds, when I was reading from what I woke up with, it was said that, let me see, the poles had flipped, and that about true north. Let's see. Here we go. Then with divine knowledge of itself, it will seek to multiply and be fruitful in a balanced way. And we have the scales of Isis, which includes unwanted pregnancy of children that do not know the truth of their divine existence. This is the new north with the flipping of the poles, and that is not, and all that is not, that will now return to the womb tomb to be transmuted and transformed into divine truth, and is only then ready to be reborn. What I'm kind of getting from this is that, excuse me, I'm trying to find the right way to say this. Okay. We have been living in a patriarchal society for centuries, for an age, for a cycle, for a season. That way of energy being directed, being flowed, being known, is flipping, has flipped. And so just like with the sands in an hourglass, there's a trickling down. Okay. And so that how it's being shown and told to me is that we have to understand that patriarchy is now entering that bottom portion of the hourglass, and all of those sands are just about there, and then it's going to be flipped, and the sands that begin to come down are the matriarchal, are the mother, or the united forces. But it takes the mother first to bring about the joining of the two. So that matriarchal has to be reestablished first. And then the union, the divine union, takes place. But the recognition of the feminine has to take place. Okay. You are in the process of sacred relationship, healing of the divine masculine and divine feminine energies within your own soul. This is the advanced spiritual path of Tantra. It is the connection of the body and soul. The effect of this inner divine relationship healing is genuine enlightenment of the mind and the body. The body becomes a living, sacred temple of light, energy, and wild aliveness. This embodiment can be experienced in movement, in deep stillness, in vitality, and in quietness. You are a tantrika, a sacred priestess of the tantric arts. Some people mistakenly believe that tantra is simply about sexuality, but it is in truth the journey of the soul to bring masculine and feminine polarities into wholeness, love, unity, and empowerment, to learn to be enlightened, to learn to be the enlightened path in every element of your being. This is soul building work. What that is in great service to the spiritual healing and evolution of humanity, which is in deep need of those such as yourself who can create sacred connection between mind and body. It might be through your own personal healing of your body-mind connection, and perhaps through your healing services for others, that you walk your tantric path. It might be done in a private way or in an obvious way. What matters is that it feels right for you. Walking this path authentically is a choice to live in dedication to the sacred work of Isis, who taught us about the creative power that could come of healing the relationship between masculine and feminine consciousness. And beloveds, it all goes back to what I wrote in what came through in the beginning about the unwanted children, and you taking the responsibility on as knowing yourself as God and taking responsibility for what you are able to manifest, to multiply, to create, and to really understand the importance of existence. Okay. You are guided to accept the healing through learning to balance the masculine and feminine energies within yourself and your relationships with others. Balancing give and take, directing and flowing, play and solitude are ways to do this now. Learning to feel is comfortable as possible with your sexual and spiritual nature, seeing how they can complement rather than compete with each other is helpful too. Connection with the body is the most powerful form of healing from the feminine energy, as it holds the secrets to divine feminine wisdom. The womb and the tomb. This can occur through movement, dance, and yoga that is based on body awareness and presence, rather than necessarily involving fast flowing postures that may take you more into your head than your body. You can come more into your body through time in nature, swimming, laying in the sun, resting, or walking, provided that you stay present to the physical sensations that you experience. This oracle also gives as a guide for your path of inner healing and service. You are encouraged to explore divine masculine and feminine healing within yourself, specifically at this time. This may involve forgiveness of past relationships with significant males or females in your life. It may also require an adjustment of softening to allow in feminine wisdom, or cutting out some distraction or draining situations or relationships that minimize your sense of your own power and capacity to use masculine wisdom well. There's deep truths that are being shared here, beloveds. This is unconditional love flowing abundantly at a time where it's most needed. Please use this information wisely. Apply it first to yourself and then give it to others. That's what I'm doing. That's what I've been doing. That's what I've been sharing. And regardless of what other thinks of my journey and how far and blah, 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 that's their opinion. And they're entitled to it. I no longer fight people's opinions or their thoughts about me, about my life, about my feelings, about my ways, about my needs, about my lessons. And we have to get to that point where it is personal. Means it is you observing your person's being, how you be as a person, how you be as existence, how you be in this world as a being. And that is not dependent on another's opinion of how you should be. Their comparison, their experience to their existence, it has nothing to do with it. And you have to stand in that. And you have to know that. And you have to be comfortable in knowing that. Each of us is going to experience life in a unique way. So, in that very uniqueness, in that divine intellect that is so vast, that is expressing itself in over 7 billion human beings. No, we have not counted how many animals. We have not counted how many plants. We have not counted how many planets. We have not counted how many universes and galaxies that existence is using to express itself. Okay? So understand that somebody else's opinion, don't let that rock your world. You manifest your own world. Be responsible for it. Shoulda, coulda, woulda is your responsibility. Forgive yourself. Do what you need to do. Adjust your balance. Readjust yourself. Do what you need to do. Give yourself time to do it. And it's not graded by anyone. And it's not upgraded by anyone. It's not denigrated by anyone. Degenerated, however you want to say that word. That is the truth of who you are. Them dry bones, they say, listen to the truth. Use the facts. That's the fact, Jack. Stick to the facts. Not what you think, not what somebody else thinks, but the truth of who you are. Okay. If you also drew the oracle card of healing the divine masculine, then you are actively encouraged to explore Tantra as a personal healing journey this lifetime. There are many different teachers and approaches under the heading of Tantra these days. Use your discernment and trust what feels right for you. You are also guided, if in healing work with others, that you can help others heal through exploring the interplay of masculine and feminine energies. It might be through connection of mind and body, through inner and outer worlds, through sexuality and spirituality, joining for healing. Enjoy the unfolding journey, beloved initiate, for it will be highly creative and could involve art, movement as dance or yoga, breathwork, and much more. Ritual of ancient soul tantra. You will need a soft blanket or covering and a comfortable place to lie down and not be disturbed. You may like to light a candle or have soft lighting. Lay down in a comfortable position, preferably on your back with one hand resting on your pubic bone below your belly and one hand resting near your heart. Focus on the breath. Imagine that you can breathe all the way down to the belly, feeling it rise and fall with the breath. Imagine thoughts falling away and all you notice is the breath. If you start thinking, it is a trigger to go back to the breath and rise and fall of the belly and chest under your hands. Allow the energy in the belly to grow, like a bright sun growing with the breath, neither too warm nor too cold, just growing comfortably, fed by the breath. Allow the energy to grow until it flows all the way down your legs. You may feel sexual energy stirring as you focus the breath, and if so, just stay relaxed and focused on your hand resting on your belly and the energy growing and spreading through your body in a pleasant, comfortable way. As your awareness goes deeper within, imagine that you can become aware of the heart chakra. Become aware of this center in your chest being nourished with the energy that is growing deep in the belly. Imagine the energy rising from the belly and warming the heart, and love from the heart responding and traveling down into your belly. Keep the sensation comfortable and relaxed, allowing thoughts to drift away as you more deeply engage with your body. Allow yourself to take your awareness deeper into the space within your body with peaceful respect and patient love. It will open to you, starting with your awareness resting in your belly and then in your heart. Imagine as if a powerful inner light is flicked on and your awareness grows, becoming sensitive to the light that is within your body. You may feel, see, or sense light, love, sexual and spiritual energy, or simply the sensation of being aware within your body. Whatever you feel is perfect for you at the time. Feel the love of your heart growing and the energy in your belly flowing. The more you are of your body, the more deeply you shall descend into tantric awakening of the body of light. Pay attention to those words. That is an alignment, beloveds. That is the alignment, the attunement that you want. The more aware you are of your body, the more deeply you shall descend into tantric awakening of the body of light. That perfectly balanced masculine and feminine consciousness brought to life in an awakened body. It feels beautiful, peaceful, sublime, and very alive to be in such a state. Stay with this sacred communion process until you feel ready to reemerge more whole and refreshed. Then, when you are ready, just open your eyes. Quietly, as you come out of your experience, say aloud, I love and approve of myself unconditionally. I call upon those beings who love me unconditionally and ask for healing, protection, and assistance, that any negativity or clearing that occurs from my work today be released with the least harm to myself or others. May I be blessed. Don't underestimate the power of this exercise. Though it is a simple practice, it is very strong. Be gentle with yourself in the days following as you integrate the healing. Incarnation of the scales of balance. You can say this incantation at the beginning of the ritual above or at any time you feel out of balance. You will know this is the case if you are drained, feel pulled in too many directions, and with too many demands and not much productivity, or if you are just feeling not quite right within yourself. The scales are balanced with perfection, feminine and masculine in divine connection, surrender and strength, body and soul, together are loved, united and whole. I know when to act and when to rest. Scales of balance allow harmony to vest. Deep within, I am now at peace. As imbalance, I effortlessly now release. I feel balance, wholeness, and vitality as I balance and heal my divine humanity. And that is that card, beloveds. And we will move forward to the last card. And that card is taken from the Medicine Woman deck, the Inner Guidebook by Carol Bridges. And the card that was pulled is the Exemplar of Stones. Wow. There is a lot to see here, beloveds. The cornucopia, the spiraling of the colors and the contrast behind her, the light and the dark, the leaves on her dress, the beads at her neck, the color purple and green, the 5 stalks of corn, the 2 snakes on her lap, the rings. There is a lot here at her knees and the junction. And remember, the 2 snakes did come up in what was written earlier as well. And her necklace is sun, moon, and 3 teardrops, I'll call them. And again, she has the 3 on her ears. Okay, let's see what the card says. Exemplar of Stones. The earth is eternally fertile. Excuse me for fidgeting. I just feel the need to readjust because there's just lots of energy right now. Okay. Prayer. Exemplar of stones, the earth is eternally fertile. Prayer. I have lived well. I have learned of power and wealth. I understand the source of all of these to be but one great spirit who breathes life into everything, every living thing. The source of love is loving. The source of a bountiful harvest is planting the seeds. These words I pass on so that you may be as me. Live fully, for life is a blessing. Love wholly, for love is holy. You can have everything if you are true to that which is really you. Finding yourself and expressing yourself is all that we are sent to do. This is my learning, the lessons of the stones. This is the wisdom I pass on to you. May all earth's blessings be upon you. And that is the prayer of that card. And this is the lesson of that card. From where you sit, the view is a paradise of everlasting fertility. Fertility has come up a lot in this. The scorpion is the sexual sign of the zodiac. There's just so much here. And I hope you are able to connect all the dots and get all the good juiciness and be fed by it, because it's very deep and yummy right now. Okay, let me keep going. From where you sit, the view is a paradise of everlasting fertility. This is the lesson. There is plenty for all. Now is your opportunity to be supremely generous and to teach why you can be. You may pass on the lessons of the stones. If you had not cared for life, for things, and for the source of all things, you would not be here in this position. Be clear as to how you got here so that others know there is no shortcut. Earth Mother is bountiful by nature, but we must work according to her principles, her laws. For everything there's a time, there's a season. You now have health only if you have formed a balanced relationship to food and to the material resources you have used as goods to serve your purposes. There is no need to work harder or longer. You understand the cycles and sources of life. This is the maturity of your earth cycle. Spend as much time as possible deepening your understanding of renewable energy, recycling resources, reincarnation, rejuvenation, and reaching optimum physical vitality. Look at aging as autumn glory and winter's sleep. Whatever you put into the body now prepares it for its next life. If you have keenly observed Earth, you see she will bear again in spring, and so will you. Your spring soil will be as rich as you have become inside. Your new life will blossom from the old. Remember, death is constantly occurring. Every 7 years, each cell in your entire body has been replaced. They are replaced as healthy as the life you live. So, again, in going back to Mama Dot, I love you. And you and I are going to work closely on this body thing, this dieting and what we put in our cells and paying more attention to it and understanding that, because this is what is being told to us. And it's not like it's something new, but it's something new for our understanding of our new selves. And we're going to have to integrate this knowledge because we understand ourselves as being a different being. But we're so used to treating the body a certain way. And and looking at the body a certain way and feeling about the body a certain way. And we have to realize that those feelings, those thoughts, that way, it has to die. And that the more we do for ourselves each time we eat, we have to be conscious of it. And each time we move and each time we do things. And this will retrain us and repattern us, and we'll have a healthier tomorrow because of how we're taking care of ourselves today. And that goes for everybody, beloved. And it's not just the physical eating. It's what you feed yourself emotionally. It's what you allow around you, what you allow in you. And if you are awakening and you see yourself as a new being, then you have to have new ways for this new being. You can't dress this new being in the old ways. It don't fit no more. That's not who you want. You're not trying to make this new being into the old being. So this being, this new being, this is who gets all your hopes and your dreams. This is who you surrender to, who you surrender for. Because she or he is not designed or created by anyone else, for anyone else. This is existence. This is God. This is source being allowed to dwell and exist in you as you. So it takes time, but just like walking, one step at a time, one thought at a time. When you feel yourself going into those anxious places or those places where it's going to make your heart heavy, bring yourself back out of that. Call a friend. Read a book. Watch something that's going to make you laugh. Look at pictures or something that just crack you up and lift your spirit. This is loving yourself. This is acknowledging the divine in you. This is supporting that new being, that new intimate part of you that is coming alive, that is being born, that is growing, that is thirsty, that is hungry for ways of knowing itself as divinity. You have to feed it a divine diet. And that takes reprogramming. That's a process. If you have keenly observed Earth, you see she will bear again in spring, and so will you. Your spring soil will be as rich as you have become inside. Your new life will blossom from the old. Remember, death is constantly occurring. Every 7 years, each cell in your entire body body has been replaced. They are replaced as healthy as the life you live. The ancestors are alive within us. Their bodies have become the stones, the soil, the plants, our food, ourselves. We shall become our grandchildren. We are the future, and we shall live again in the future. We are creating now. Contemplate this magnificent cycle. And beloveds, it all began with pay attention and focus. There's so much. This was very rich. And I understand why the Spirit had me wait until today to do it. I'm much more grounded right now, and I'm much more understanding of the divine focus that's necessary right now. There's a lot of awareness that has to take place. And that awareness is not of what is outside of us. That awareness is of who we are, our responsibility as a divine being, our responsibility of educating ourselves in a divine way so that we know how to act and react in a divine way, so that we recognize the divinity of existence itself in everything, and that we welcome this abundance for all. And so it is a it is a glorious time to be alive right now, beloveds. It just is. And like I said, many things seem to be falling apart, but they are actually falling in place. And you just have to look for the truth. Look for the truth in every situation. The truth. What is the truth? And if you're not sure of the truth, pray on it. Weigh and balance it. Look at the positives and negatives. What is it telling you? Is that truly what it's telling you, or is that only what your limited eyesight allows you to see and feel and know? Is there more to it? Put yourself in the other person's place. And beloveds, if that person is harming or hurting you, you have to be divine enough to show yourself divine love, to remove yourself from that situation, because you don't allow yourself to be hurt or harmed. It's not just you they're harming, it's your divinity. And it could be simply they don't know no better, or simply because they're so hurt and all they know how to do is hurt. Whatever the reason, give yourself space so that your awareness of your divinity can take root and can blossom. And understand that there are cycles and seasons to everything. So it's not going to stay static. It's not going to remain straight. It's going to be up and down and round and all kinds of things. And understand that the universal laws govern the will of the divine. And everything will fall in line with those universal laws. And that's going to do it, beloveds. That is going to do it for me. And once again, I want to say, get well, feel better, Mama Dot. I love you so much. You mean so much to me. Thank you, Alette, for caring for her. And bless you for it. Okay, that is going to do it for this particular video. Again, this is Mother with Wisdom, aka Valerie AMES. Thank you.